We've done it to everybody. What are you talking about? Who didn't we do it to?
I don't know. What are you talking about?
I'm saying you cannot be a violent country and not expect violence in return.
Mm.
You don't think that the United States has gotten so powerful because it's been violent. We have committed murder, genocide, theft. What else?
Well, you say this numero uno status, this is, I guess, a silver lining, should be the opportunity to let loose the reins on its artistic imagination.
They're not doing that. They want to
So,
keep. They're keeping artists, the
is there
greatest artists of this country. This country is depriving its greatest artists to its people. They have made a. They own all these moronic companies, and they have made a. They have not allowing their real artists to come through.
Well, who's going to let them come through? Or how will they come through? Do you see anything?
First of all, since the people own the airwaves, how are they allowing 4 record companies to play all the radio stations in this country, including now the college radio stations? 4 record companies use all of the radio stations to play their music, and no original artist can play their music on these stations. Wait a minute. I own these radio stations. The people own the radio stations. Why can't the people's musicians have access to these radio stations? Why must we only hear from the product of these 4 commercial record companies? That's why. That's what I'm talking about. Okay? We own them. They should be programs where people are allowed to have that.
Do you believe in a one world religion?
It would be a great thing if the people came to it on their own, not that it's forced or anything, or supported by the government. I mean, if the people came to it on their own, that would be the glue. Hey, Constantine, that would be the glue to bring humanity together. It would be a great thing if the people came to it on their own, not that it's forced or anything, or supported by the government. I mean, if the people came to it on their own, that would be the glue. Hey, Constantine, that would be the glue to bring humanity together.
If they came to Magaba, that is.
If they came to whatever vision.
Do you see any possible mechanism for that happening?
It could happen it could happen. It could happen because
But there would be enemies, so that they would want to stop it and kill it, right?
Yeah, well, the conservative force would want to stop the change, and they're very powerful. You're kidding me? I once talking to this priest, and in this conversation, he goes, he's an old-time Monsignor, right? He's now very ill right now.
Father Tom?
No. This is Father. I don't want to mention it. Father Dan. Anyway, I said my basic spiel. You know what he says to me? This is old-time priest, big heavy. Said he goes like, "We could take care of you." God, man, this 80-year-old guy, this old guy, this man, he tells me about his experiences in Europe during the Nazi times and all the wonderful, incredible experiences. He used to work in the Vatican. I have all these conversations with him. But then when I come up with all of my aggressiveness toward the church, he would go, "We could take care of you." Holy God. I mean, that voice.
I bet you they can.
I know they can. Wait, but is that a Christian talking?
But who's taking care of them, buddy?
But is that a Christian talking? Is he supposed to take care of me? Isn't he supposed to turn the other cheek?
He's supposed to take care of you in the sense of protecting you, like a lamb.
But shouldn't he turn the other cheek?
That's what he meant. No, he wanted to protect you.
No. He was going to take care of me.
Take care of you.
Torquemado.
Religious freedom. Do you believe in that?
Mm-hmm.
When is it going to happen?
When is it going to happen? Probably never.
When each man has his own truth and lives without truth?
There's no religious freedom in this country, in the United States.
There isn't?
No.
What keeps you from worshiping freely?
Ask David Koresh if he had religious freedom. Ask Reverend Moon if there's religious freedom in this country. Ask anybody who pops out and gets into comes into conflict with the Christians or Christian right or basic any Christianity. If there's religious freedom, there's no religious freedom. They are a bureaucracy. There's not only a political bureaucracy, there's a religious political bureaucracy in this country which does not permit religious freedom, because if you challenge them on any level, they will kill you. They will kill you. They had no reason to do what they did in Texas, to burn that man and 80 or 90 children, to go in there with tanks.
Why'd they do it?
Because it was a different religion. Why would you go into somebody's house with a tank? Would they like if I went into their house, where their children was, where their children is, with a tank? But it's just passed under the rug. I mean, nobody went to jail, nothing. You know why? Because they weren't part of the regular group.
You say, despite your severe criticisms of human beings, you care about them and want to give them something special that if not for you, they might have to wait some extra decades to get. You say, but my philosophical muscle is very large.
It's what I do. It's my game. It's what I do. It's what I have been doing for 40 years. It's what I do. That's why I wake up in the morning and I think about. It's what I think about when I walk down the street.
So would you say that it's the synthesis of your ideas that's original, that can help people? Because all the elements seem to come from somewhere else, but it's the synthesis?
The elements come from somewhere else?
Well, yes.
I think you're right. Maybe that synthesis is the difference, yeah. Right, the interpretation of this is why I do give credit to to the outside world to some extent. Yeah, of course.
Why do things have to be the same to be real? Why do things have to be unchanging to be real or to exist?
Nothing exists.
But it would exist if it was unchanging, like you said about
yeah,
Ma.
Because that's my definition of existence.
Ma.
That's my definition of existence.
Exactly.
To exist.
But isn't that a little short-sighted?
Well, if you don't like that definition, then we'll discuss that. But my definition of existence means for a fraction of a moment, of a second, or whatever time, any fraction of a time that you will, that something is 100% the same. And that never happens to anything. Now, to exist, I mean, you have to be the same for some time. If I call you George now, and a moment later I call you George, I expect you to be the same George that I was talking to before. But you're not the same George. You are never George. There is never a George. George was never born. George does not exist, and George can never die. So,
nothing exists.